Welcome. You are here now, and that is the only thing that matters tonight. There is nothing else required of you, nothing waiting, nothing unfinished, nothing that needs your attention before the morning comes. You have arrived at the end of your day, and the end of the day is a soft and patient place, a place that has been here all along, simply waiting for you without any urgency, without any demand, without asking anything of you except that you be here, which you are, which is enough, which is everything that is needed. Take a moment to feel where you are lying. Feel the surface beneath you, how it accepts your weight completely, how it holds every part of you without effort, without resistance, the way something that has been holding people in rest for a long time simply knows how to do this, quietly and well. Feel your body settling into that surface, your shoulders, your back, your legs, the back of your head, and let yourself press down just a little more. Release just a little more, the day coming out of you gradually, not all at once, but gradually, the way warmth leaves a room slowly after the fire has gone out. Your shoulders can fall now, just that last small degree. Your jaw can soften, the muscles around your eyes can release, your hands can open, your fingers uncurl, your arms lie flat and perfectly still at your sides, because there's nothing for them to do tonight. Nothing for any part of you to do except rest, which is already happening, which is already underway, which requires only that you allow it to continue. Tonight I am going to tell you about a journey, not a journey that requires anything of you. No packing, no preparation, no decision, no effort of any kind. Simply a journey you are already on, already settled into, already comfortable within, because you have been on this train for some time now. You have already found your compartment and arranged your things, and the train has already been moving for hours, rolling through the European night at its own unhurried pace, and all you need to do is be here, in this compartment, in this warmth, listening to the train. The train is the Orient Express, not the Orient Express of adventure stories or films or famous crimes. Those are exciting things, and we are not interested in exciting things tonight. We are interested in the other Orient Express, the ordinary Orient Express. The Orient Express, as it simply is when you are a passenger in your sleeping compartment at night, moving through the darkness of the European continent, the wheels turning steadily on the rails below, the carriage rocking very gently from side to side in its characteristic way, the sound of the train filling the small, warm, wood panel compartment with its continuous, rhythmic, hypnotic sound. It is sometime in the 1930s. The Orient Express is at the height of its golden era. The carriages are beautifully made, the fittings of polished brass and dark mahogany, the fabrics deep blue and warm cream, the lamps giving their soft, amber electric light to the small sleeping compartments. Outside, Europe is passing in the dark, fields and hills and rivers and small stations that the train passes without stopping, the lights briefly visible and then gone, absorbed back into the darkness. You are in your compartment. You have eaten dinner in the dining car, a long, slow dinner, now hours ago. And you have returned here, and you have settled in, and the night is well advanced, and the train is moving, and there is nothing to do, and nowhere to be except exactly here, in this warm, gently rocking compartment, on this train that is going where it is going at its own steady pace, through the dark European night. Before we settle more deeply into the train and the night, take one slow breath. Breathe in through your nose, gently, feeling your chest and your belly rise just slightly, and then breathe out through your mouth, long and even and completely, letting everything go with that breath, every thought, every plan, every small thing from the day that has been following you. Simply breathe it all out, slowly, and let the next breath come in clean and easy, and let your breathing find the rhythm of the train, not consciously, not deliberately, just naturally, the breath moving in and out in the warm compartment air, while the train moves through the dark, and the wheels turn on the rails, and the carriage rocks very gently, and everything is in motion except you, who are completely still. Your body is growing heavier, Your legs are heavy and warm under the blanket. Your arms are heavy. The back of your head is heavy against the pillow. The pillow of the Orient Express sleeping compartment is a very good pillow. Not too soft, not too firm, simply a pillow that accepts the shape of your head and holds it comfortably. The pillowcase of fine white linen, slightly cool at first and then warming to the temperature of your skin. The blanket over you is heavy and warm, a blanket of dark blue wool, the color of the Orient Express, its weight pressing down on you with that particular, entirely pleasant weight of a good heavy blanket, the weight that says you are covered. You are warm. You are contained within this warmth, and nothing outside it needs to reach you tonight. The train moves. The wheels turn. The carriage rocks. The sound of the train is everywhere, a deep, rhythmic, continuous sound that is made of many smaller sounds all together. The steady clicking of the wheels over the rail joints, regular and unhurried, one click following another in a slow, even pattern. The deeper, lower sound of the engine somewhere ahead, a sound so low it is more felt than heard, a vibration in the floor and the walls of the carriage, the very faint sound of the metal and wood of the carriage itself, its small creaks and movements as it takes the curves and the slight variations in the track. All of these sounds together make the sound of the train, which is one of the most deeply comfortable sounds in the world, one of the sounds most perfectly suited to sleep, because it is continuous and it is rhythmic and it changes very slowly if at all, and it fills the compartment completely, leaving no space for other sounds to enter, no space for thoughts to catch on anything, no space for the mind to do anything except drift with the sound, drift with the train, drift through the dark. European night toward wherever the train is going. Your sleeping compartment on the Orient Express is a small, beautifully made room. It is perhaps 6 feet wide and 8 feet long. Not large, but sufficient, and the smallness of it is not a constraint but a comfort. The way a small, well-made space is always a comfort. The way a berth on a ship is a comfort. The way any small, enclosed, warm space feels safe and contained and entirely sufficient. The walls are paneled in dark mahogany, a warm, deep brown wood, its grain visible in long, flowing lines, its surface polished to a soft gleam. The panels fit together precisely, their joints tight and even, the craftsmanship of them the kind that takes time and care and produces something that is very pleasing without being showy. The fold-down bed is made up, the white linen sheets turned down, the dark blue blanket heavy and smooth, the pillow plump and properly placed. The bed runs along the exterior wall of the compartment, and beside the bed, at its head, there's a small folding shelf that serves as a night table, and on this shelf there is the small electric lamp in its brass fitting, its light turned very low, giving the compartment a warm amber glow that is barely enough to see by, just enough to make the darkness comfortable rather than complete. The window of the sleeping compartment is perhaps 2 feet wide and 3 feet tall, set in the exterior wall beside the bed, and it is double glazed against the cold of the European night, and it has a cream-colored linen blind that can be pulled down completely or left partially raised. Tonight the blind is pulled almost all the way down, almost, but not quite, leaving a gap of perhaps 3 inches at the bottom, through which the darkness outside moves past at the speed of the train, the occasional light of a distant farmhouse briefly visible in the gap, a point of warm yellow light that appears and expands slightly and then contracts and disappears, gone in a moment, the countryside absorbing it back into itself, the dark continuing. The small details of the compartment are all very fine. The brass fittings on the lamp, the brass handle of the tiny wardrobe where your coat hangs, the brass number plate on the compartment door, all polished, all catching the amber lamplight in small, warm gleams. The floor beneath the bed is carpeted in a dark pattern, carpet thick enough to soften every footstep. The fold-down wash basin in the corner, its tap of polished chrome above a small white basin, not needed now, used earlier, now folded back into its housing in the wall. Let yourself be in this compartment. Let the train be moving around you and through you and beneath you. Its rhythm the rhythm of everything tonight, steady and continuous and entirely without urgency. Let the amber lamp give its very low, Very warm light to the dark mahogany walls and the white linen of the bed and your own still form under the dark blue blanket. Let the window show its narrow gap of passing darkness, the occasional point of light appearing and gone before you can quite register what it was. Your body is so still in this bed. The train moves and the carriage rocks very gently. A side-to-side rocking, very slight, very even. The rocking of a well-suspended railway carriage on good track. The motion barely perceptible but entirely present. A continuous, slow, gentle motion that is also, like the sound, one of the most perfectly sleep-inducing motions in the world, because it is gentle enough not to disturb and present enough to be felt. A constant, unhurried reminder that you are moving through the world in a vehicle that is entirely in control of itself, that knows exactly where it is going, and is going there steadily and without any hurry. The pillow is smooth under your cheek. The blanket is heavy over your shoulders. The sound of the wheels is there. Click, 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 click. Steady and slow and entirely without variation. One click following another in the same interval. The same small sound. The same tiny percussion of metal wheel on metal rail. Repeating and repeating through the night with the patience of something that does not need to arrive anywhere quickly. That is simply going. Simply moving. Simply being the train on the track in the dark. We're somewhere in Central Europe now. The train left Paris this morning, or yesterday morning. It hardly matters, and has been moving east and south through the hours, through the French countryside, and then through Switzerland, and now through the Alps somewhere, or past them. The geography not particularly important. The journey simply continuing in its own good time. Outside, the mountain passes have given way to lower ground, the track less steep, the motion of the train smoother and more even. There are forests out there in the dark, probably. Deep forests of pine and fir, their dark masses invisible against the night sky. The dining car dinner was 3 hours ago, or 4. You sat at your small table, 2 seats, white tablecloth, the silver cutlery laid precisely, the small lamp on the table giving its warm light to the white cloth and the crystal glass. The dinner was long and slow and very good. A clear soup first, then a fish course, then a main course of something with sauce, the courses arriving with the appropriate intervals between them, the whole meal taking well over an hour, the train moving through the evening countryside outside the dining car windows while you ate. But that is behind you now. The dining car is behind you. The other passengers are in their own compartments. The train is quiet in its night mode. And you are here, in your compartment, in your bed, and there is nothing left of the day except this. Your overnight bag is in the small rack above the door. You put it there when you first came in, and you have taken from it only what you needed for the night, and it sits there now, tidily, neatly, not needing anything from you, simply there. Your coat is in the small wardrobe, the brass handle on the wardrobe door catching the lamplight in a small, warm gleam. Your shoes are on the floor beside the bed, placed neatly, not needing you. You have read a little, a book or a magazine, something light, something that did not require very much of you, and then put it aside when the words began to blur slightly at their edges, when the page began to be less interesting than the sound of the train and the gentle rocking of the carriage. The book is on the shelf beside the lamp. The lamp is very low. The compartment is warm. The train is moving. There is a small heating element in the compartment, not a fire, but an electric element in a decorative fitting near the floor, its warmth gentle and even, maintaining the compartment at a temperature that is simply comfortable, not warm enough to be stuffy, and not cool enough to be anything other than pleasant. You are not too warm. You are not too cool. You are simply the right temperature, which is a very good thing to be when you are lying under a heavy blanket on a train moving through the night. The attendant came by an hour ago, or perhaps longer, tapping very quietly on the compartment door, asking through it whether you needed anything, and you said no, thank you, and his footsteps moved away down the corridor, and the corridor has been quiet since. The corridor of the Orient Express sleeping carriage is narrow, just wide enough for 2 people to pass with care, and it is carpeted in the same dark pattern as the compartment, and it runs the length of the carriage, the compartment doors on one side and the exterior windows on the other. The corridor windows showing the same darkness as the compartment window, the same passing countryside that is invisible in the night. The attendant has a small compartment at the end of the carriage, a very small space indeed, just large enough for a fold-down seat, and a small desk where he keeps his list of passengers and their requirements. He may be dozing there now, or sitting quietly, or moving through the carriage checking that all is well, which it always is on this particular night that we are in, which is a night without drama, without event, simply a night on the Orient Express as it moves through Central Europe in the 1930s, every passenger asleep or nearly so, every compartment warm and dim and closed, the whole long train simply going where it is going in the dark. You can hear, if you listen very carefully, the sound of the corridor, or rather, you can almost hear it, the almost sound of emptiness, the very slight suggestion of a space beyond your compartment door that exists without any activity in it, the corridor simply being the corridor at this hour, which is the quietest hour, the deepest hour of the night journey. And then the train takes a very slight curve, and the carriage leans fractionally to one side, and then straightens again, and the sound of the wheels changes very slightly on the curve, a subtle deepening of the click pattern, a barely perceptible shift in the rhythm. And then the curve is passed, and the straight track is back, and the sound returns to its familiar, steady, unchanging pattern. Click, 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 click. Let yourself hear that sound. The wheels on the rails. Click, 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 click. Steady and slow and entirely without variation. One following the other in the same interval, the same small sound, over and over, through the night. Let it be the sound your mind rests against, the sound your breathing organizes itself around, the sound that fills the small warm compartment and asks nothing of you, says nothing to you, means nothing except itself, the sound of the train going where it is going, which is where it has always been going, which is forward, through the dark, at its own unhurried pace. Your breathing is slow, in and out. The blanket rises very slightly and falls very slightly with each breath, a barely perceptible movement. The blanket heavy enough that the movement of your breathing beneath it is only just visible, only just present, the blue wool rising the smallest amount and settling back. In and out, the train going, the wheels clicking, the compartment warm, the lamp very low, the window showing its narrow gap of passing dark. The night outside is complete. There are almost no lights visible at this hour in this part of Europe. Occasionally the distant light of a farm building, appearing in the gap under the blind is a brief, warm point, and then gone. Occasionally the light of a small station that the train passes without stopping. The platform briefly illuminated, empty at this hour. No one waiting. The train not slowing, simply passing through the pool of station light and coming back out the other side into the dark. These stations are unremarkable, small stone buildings with a name and letters above the door, a few benches, a single lamp on a post. The train takes perhaps 4 seconds to pass through the station's light, and then the dark is back. The countryside is back. The forest or the field or whatever is out there in the night is back, invisible, simply there. You do not need to watch the window. Your eyes can be closed. The occasional light from outside, the brief warmth of a farmhouse, the brief brightness of a passing station, reaches you through your closed eyelids as the faintest possible brightening, the faintest possible orange warmth, and then is gone, and the darkness behind your closed eyes is back, and the sound of the train is back, and the rocking of the carriage is back, and everything is simply as it was. The Orient Express moves through a valley now. You can tell from the sound, which has changed very slightly. The echo of the train's passage coming back differently from the valley walls. The sound slightly fuller, slightly more present. And then the valley narrows, and the sound becomes even fuller for a moment. The echo's closer. And then the train emerges onto a viaduct over a river, and the sound opens up completely, the echo gone. The sound of the train suddenly more solitary in the open, space above the river, and you can hear, very faintly, the sound of the river below. A distant, soft, low sound, barely there, just a suggestion of moving water, far below the viaduct. And then the viaduct is behind you, and the train is back in the landscape, and the sound returns to its usual self, The click of the wheels, the low pulse of the engine, the small sounds of the carriage. All of this happens without requiring your attention. It simply happens, the way things simply happen on a train at night. The landscape changing outside without you needing to look at it. The sound changing without you needing to listen to it. The train going where it is going, without any input from you whatsoever. Your only role on this train tonight is to be here, in this compartment, in this bed, under this blanket, breathing slowly, being still, and allowing the train to carry you through the night at its own steady, unhurried, entirely reliable pace. The small lamp on the shelf is very low. Its light is amber and soft, barely enough to make the mahogany panels warm rather than dark, barely enough to show the white of the folded-down corner of the bed linen, barely enough to make the compartment feel lit rather than dark. But it is enough. It is exactly enough. It is the light of a sleeping compartment at the deepest hour of the night. The light that says everything is in order and nothing is needed, and the night is continuing as it should, and the train is going where it is going, and you can simply rest here. Simply be here. Simply let the night pass around you and through you while you are still. Let yourself feel the rocking. The carriage rocking very gently from side to side. Not dramatically. Not enough to disturb. Just that slight, even, continuous swaying that sleeping cars make when the track is smooth and the suspension is good. A motion like being very gently held and released and held and released over and over in a rhythm that has nothing to do with any external urgency. That simply continues as the carriage continues, as the train continues, as the night continues. The rocking and the sound of the wheels and the warmth of the compartment and the weight of the blanket are all working together, all doing the same thing, which is to make it very, very easy to let go. Let go now. Let go of whatever is left of today. Let go of whatever your mind has been holding on to. The thoughts that have been waiting in the background. The plans that have been organizing themselves for tomorrow. The small replays of the day that sometimes happen in the evening quiet. Let all of it go. The way the train lets go of each kilometer of track as it passes over it. Moving on. Not returning. Not looking back. Simply going forward through the dark. The attendant has passed once more through the corridor. His footsteps very quiet on the carpet, barely audible through the compartment wall. Just the faintest suggestion of someone moving at the very edge of your hearing, and then gone again. The corridor silent. This is the last passage of the night, the final check. Everything in order. Every compartment dark or nearly dark. Every passenger settled. He goes back to a small compartment at the end of the carriage and closes his door, and the carriage is as quiet as it will be tonight, which is very quiet, which is the particular quiet of a sleeping train car at the deepest hour of the night. The train is crossing a long, flat plain now. The track here is perfectly straight, no curves, no inclines, just a long straight line of the rails running across the flat landscape in the dark, and the train on those rails perfectly true. No leaning, no swaying, just the straight, even, unwavering progress of a train on a perfectly level, perfectly straight track. The sound of the wheels on this straight track is the most even it has been all night. Perfectly regular, perfectly spaced. Each click the same as the last, the same as the next, the same small interval of track, and then the joint, and then the track, and then the joint, over and over, going nowhere in a hurry, simply going. Click, 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 click. You have been on this train for many hours. The time does not matter very much. It is night. It is late. It is the deep part of the night when the difference between 1 hour and another is very small. The train has been going since before you went to bed, and it will still be going when you wake. And wherever it arrives, it will arrive when it arrives. And none of that is your concern tonight. Tonight your only concern is this compartment and this blanket and this pillow, and this sound, and this gentle rocking, and this very slow, very easy, very complete process of resting. Your body is so heavy in the bed. Your legs are heavy. Your arms are heavy. Your head is heavy against the pillow. The weight of the blanket over you is warm and permanent feeling, the kind of weight that says you are settled. You are in your place. You are exactly where you should be, which is here, which is this, which is enough. The lamp is so low. The warmth of the compartment is so even. The sound of the train is so steady. The rocking is so gentle. Everything in this small, wood-paneled, brass-fitted room is oriented toward rest, toward sleep, toward the complete and unhurried passage of the night in warmth and comfort while the train goes where it is going, and the dark countryside passes outside, and the Europe of the 1930s sleeps all around the long, slow train moving through it. Somewhere ahead, many hours from now, there will be a city. Constantinople, perhaps, or Vienna, or some other great city of the European East. The destination that is printed on your ticket, the city that the train has been heading towards since it left Paris. But that city is far away, and you will not arrive there until the morning is well advanced, and the morning is many hours from now. And between here and the morning there is only the night and the train and this compartment and the sound of the wheels on the rails. The dining car is dark and empty now. The white tablecloths are still on the tables. They will stay there until morning, when the stewards will remove them and reset the tables for breakfast, and the silver cutlery is stored in its velvet-lined drawers, and the crystal glasses are in their rack above the bar, and the small lamps on the tables are out, and the long row of dining car windows shows only the dark countryside passing outside, the same dark countryside that all the windows of the train are showing, the same night that surrounds the entire train as it moves through the continent. The kitchen car, between the dining car and the baggage car, is also quiet now. The chef and his two assistants have cleaned and put away everything from the dinner service, the pots and pans in their storage racks, the knives on their magnetic strip, the surfaces white and gleaming in the very faint light from the small safety lamp that burns all night in the corner of the kitchen. The kitchen is not entirely cold. The residual warmth of the ovens that cooked the dinner is still present in the metal and the air of the small space, a warmth that will fade through the night and be gone by morning, when the chef will return and begin the preparations for breakfast. All of these rooms and spaces of the long train are there, beyond your compartment door, existing in their nighttime state, quiet and purposeless for these hours, simply being the dining car and the kitchen and the baggage car and the other sleeping carriages, while the night passes and the train moves and no one needs them. In the other sleeping compartments along your carriage, other passengers are sleeping or near sleeping. Each compartment is its own small, warm, wood-paneled world. The same amber lamp very low, the same dark blue blanket, the same white linen, the same narrow gap under the blind showing the same darkness outside. The passengers inside them are all in their own versions of this same quiet, some fully asleep, their breathing slow and deep and regular, some in that particular half-asleep state that the train seems to produce, not quite asleep and not quite awake, the mind drifting through very soft thoughts that are more like feelings than thoughts, the body entirely still, the sound of the train filling everything. A woman in the compartment next to yours has been asleep for perhaps 2 hours, deeply asleep, her breathing slow and even, the sound of it very faint through the shared wall, barely audible, just occasionally present as a very slight, very soft sound that is simply the sound of someone sleeping, which is one of the most peaceful sounds in the world. An older man 2 compartments down is reading still, his light slightly brighter through the gap under his door, his page turning occasional and slow, the slight sound of it barely reaching the corridor. But he is the last. All the others are sleeping, and you are here, in your compartment, in your bed, the blanket heavy and warm, the pillows soft and comfortable against your head, the lamp very low, the window showing its narrow gap of darkness, the train moving through the night, the wheels on the rails, click, 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 the carriage rocking very gently, the warmth of the compartment even and continuous, everything working together, everything oriented toward the same simple, comfortable, entirely achievable end. Let your mind go very soft now. Let it go to the place it goes when it is between waking and sleeping, that particular soft place where thoughts lose their edges, where one thing becomes another without any clear transition, where the sound of the train is not something you are listening to, but something you are simply within. The way you are within the warmth of the compartment. The way you are within the movement of the train. Simply present in it. Simply part of it, not separate from it. Not observing it, just in it, just moving through the dark with it. At its pace, in its warmth, in its sound. The rocking of the carriage. The click of the wheels. The low amber light. The heavy blue blanket. The white pillow. The dark mahogany walls. The passing darkness outside the window. The sound of someone sleeping, very faintly, through the wall. The warmth. The warmth. The warmth. Your breathing is so slow. In and out. In and out. The train breathes too, in its own way. The engine exhaling as it pulls. The carriages rocking in their slow exhalation. The whole long train moving through the night in a rhythm that is not entirely unlike breathing. Not entirely unlike the slow, even, continuous process of taking the night in and letting it pass through and moving on. You are on the Orient Express. It is night. You are in your sleeping compartment. The train is going where it is going. You are warm. You are still. The sound of the wheels is everywhere. The rocking is gentle and continuous. The lamp is low. The blanket is heavy. And there's nothing else. There's nothing else at all. The hours of the night pass around the moving train the way fields pass outside the window, without announcing themselves, without any clear beginning or end, simply present and then past. The next one already there before you have noticed the last one go. This is how time passes on a night train, and it is one of the best ways time can pass, because it asks nothing of you, because you are not responsible for any of it, because the train is going and the night is passing, and all you have to do is be here in your compartment in the dark and let both of these things happen around you. The train slows, very slightly, barely perceptible, just the very faintest change in the pace of the wheel clicks. The interval between them fractionally longer than it was. The sound fractionally slower. A station is approaching. Not a station where the train stops. Not tonight. Not at this hour. But a station that the train passes through. A small intermediate station somewhere in the Central European night. Its name on the building not visible from the train. Its platform briefly lit. Empty. No one waiting. The train moves through the station. The brief, slightly increased light from the platform lamps reaching your compartment through the narrow gap under the blind. The faintest brightening of the darkness for perhaps 3 or 4 seconds. And then the station is passed, and the dark is back, and the train resumes its full speed, and the wheel clicks return to their usual pace, and the brief event is entirely over, leaving nothing behind except the dark that was there before it and is there again. After it, click, 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 the same sound, the same pace, the same everything. The station might not have happened at all. The night continues as though it did not, because for the night it did not, really, a brief, well-lit interruption of no consequence, already absorbed and gone. Let the station go the way it came, briefly, without holding it, the way the train holds nothing, the way the train simply moves through everything that presents itself and comes out the other side unchanged, still going, still the train on the track in the night, still moving toward wherever it is going at its own unhurried pace. Your body has been still for a long time now. The stillness of it is very deep. Not the tense stillness of someone trying to be still, but the natural, effortless stillness of a body that is genuinely let go, that is genuinely resting, that requires no instruction or management, because it has simply done what bodies do when they are warm and comfortable and the conditions are right, which is to be still, which is to rest, which is to allow itself to be carried through the night without any effort, just as the carriage is being carried through the night without any effort of its own. The blanket is very warm. It has warmed to your body temperature now. No longer the slight coolness of a blanket that has been waiting, but the continuous, even warmth of a blanket that has been lying against a warm body for a long time and has become part of that warmth, indistinguishable from it, simply warm, simply there, simply present in the way that everything in this compartment is simply present. Outside the train, somewhere in the dark, there is a river. You cannot see it. The night is too complete. The blind is almost all the way down, but you can feel the change in the sound of the train as it crosses the bridge over the river. The echo of the wheels changing as it always changes on a bridge, the space below opening up, and the sound going out into it rather than reflecting back. The sound becoming slightly more solitary for the few seconds of the crossing. And then the bridge is passed, and the land is back, and the sound is back, and the river is behind you. And ahead there is only the track and the dark, and the train going where it is going. The middle of the night, the truest middle, the point equidistant from the evening and the morning, the point at which the night is most fully itself. The train is moving through this middle with the same unhurried steadiness it has been moving through everything, the same pace, the same sound, the same gentle rocking, unchanged, unvaried, simply continuing. The middle of the night on a moving train has a particular quality that no other time has. It is the most enclosed, the most removed, the most thoroughly its own thing of any time you can be in. There's no past on a moving train at night, and no future. Only the present, only the sound and the movement and the warmth and the dark. Your breathing is very slow. Each breath takes a long time. The in-breath slow and gentle and completely natural. The out-breath even slower. The breath leaving you easily, completely, without any residue. And then the pause before the next in-breath, the brief, peaceful pause that is simply the space between one breath and the next, which is also a kind of rest, which is also a kind of stillness within the breathing, a small stillness within the small motion. In and out, the train, the wheels, the rocking, the warmth, the low lamp, the dark window, the blue blanket. In and out, everything is going, everything is warm, everything is dark except for the amber of the very low lamp. Everything is sound except for the small sound of your own breathing, which is the smallest sound in the compartment and the most important one, the one that has been there as long as you have been here and will be there as long as you are here, simply breathing, simply continuing, simply the most basic and most continuous thing that you do. Somewhere in the darkness beyond the train, a dog is barking, far away, very far away, barely audible over the sound of the train, more a possibility than the certainty of sound. And then it is gone, left behind by the train's passage, the dog and whatever it was responding to already a quarter-mile back and fading, and the dark is quiet again except for the train, which is not quiet but is its own continuous sound that is, by now, simply the background of everything, simply the sound that everything else occurs within. The attendant is asleep in his compartment. The other passengers are asleep. The chef is asleep in the staff quarters. The train driver at the very front of the long train is awake. He must be awake. The train requires it. But he's far away, in his own small cab, watching the track ahead in the light of the train's headlamp. The track appearing out of the dark and disappearing under the train and not returning, going backward into the dark, unreachable, already past. His is a different experience of the night train. But you are not in the driver's cab. You are here, in the compartment, in the warm dark, under the blanket, and the track and the headlamp and the driver are as remote from you as anything can be. The train takes a long, very gentle curve, so gentle that you might not notice it is a curve, just the very slightest change in the rocking, the carriage leaning a fraction of a degree to one side, and then returning as the curve opens out into straight track again. The wheel sound on the curve is barely different, just a slight variation in the pattern of clicks as the wheels negotiate the curved rail, and then the straight track is back and the pattern is back, and the train is going straight again through the dark. Everything returns to its base state, the same sound, the same rocking, the same warmth, the curve absorbed into the night without leaving any trace, simply one more thing the train has passed through and come out the other side of unchanged. Let yourself feel that continuity, the way the train comes through everything unchanged, the curves, the stations, the bridges, the variations in the landscape, and as always, on the other side of each one, simply the train, simply going, simply itself. You can be like the train tonight. You can pass through whatever presents itself, and come out the other side unchanged, still here, still warm, still breathing slowly, still in the compartment, still on the track, still going where you are going, which is toward morning, which is toward rest, which is toward the deep and complete sleep that the train and the night and the warmth and the sound are all building toward. You are so warm. You are so still. The blanket is so heavy. The pillow is so soft. The sound of the train is so steady, so continuous, so hypnotic in its absolute regularity that it has long since stopped being something you hear and has become something you simply are within. The way you are within the warmth of the compartment, simply surrounded by it, simply part of it, not thinking about it, not listening to it, just in it. Click, 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 in and out, click, 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 in and out, the same, always the same. The beautiful, hypnotic, entirely soothing sameness of the Orient Express at the deepest hour of the night, moving through Central Europe in the 1930s, its passengers sleeping, its compartments warm, its wheels on the rails going where they are going, its sound filling every sleeping compartment with the same steady, continuous, unchanging percussion that has been filling them since the train left Paris and will fill them until the train arrives wherever it is arriving. The pre-dawn hour, the darkest hour, the hour that is furthest from both the day that is past and the day that is coming. The train is in this hour as it has been in every hour of the night, unchanged, unhurried, simply going. The darkness outside the train is at its most complete, the landscape absorbed entirely into the night. No farmhouse lights, no station lights, just the absolute dark of the European countryside in the pre-dawn hour. A darkness that seems to press against the train window, against the narrow gap under the blind. In this hour, something changes very slightly in the quality of the dark, not in the darkness itself, that is still complete, but in the quality of the silence within the train, which is not silence but the sound of the train, which somehow in this pre-dawn hour takes on a slightly different quality, a slightly deeper, slightly more resonant quality, as though the night has reached its most complete depth and everything within it, including the sound of the train's wheels on the rails, has settled to its final, deepest level. Click, 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 click. You are so deeply still. Your body has been still for so long that the stillness has become the default state, the natural state, the only state, as though you have always been this still, as though this is simply what being is, simply what existing is, this warmth, this weight of the blanket, this pillow, this sound, this gentle rocking, this darkness, this slow breath, in and out, in and out, the train, the dark, the warmth, the sound, your breathing, everything, nothing else. The night is at its most complete. The train is at its most deeply in the night. You are at your most deeply in the rest. Everything has found its deepest level. The night its darkest. The train its most continuous. Your body its most still. Your breathing its slowest. The compartment its most enclosed and warm and sufficient and complete. Let this completeness be yours. Let it be entirely here, entirely sufficient, entirely everything that is needed. You do not need to add anything to it, or take anything from it, or manage it, or attend to it. It is simply complete. The way the night is complete at its deepest point, the way the sound of the train is complete, the way the warmth of the compartment is complete. Simply there, simply full, simply exactly what it is. Nothing added, nothing missing. The train. Click, 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 click. The blanket, the pillow, the low lamp, the dark window, the rocking, in and out, in and out. You are on the Orient Express. It is the deepest hour of the night. You are in your compartment. The train is going where it is going. You are warm and still and breathing very slowly, and everything is in order, and nothing is required, and the night is long, and you are in it, and it is holding you. The way the train holds the compartment, the way the compartment holds you, the way the blanket holds the warmth, the way the darkness holds everything. Everything is held. Everything is warm. Everything is well. The night continues. The train continues. The sound of the wheels on the rails continues. Click, 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 click. Steady and patient, and entirely without variation. Going on and on through the dark in a way that has no beginning you can remember, and no end you can foresee. Simply always there. Simply always the same. Simply the train, and the track, and the night. In another carriage, far down the long train, a passenger woke briefly, turned over in their berth, adjusted their blanket, listened to the train for a moment with eyes half open, and then went back to sleep without ever being fully awake, the train's sound accompanying their brief surface, and their return to depth without any break, simply there for both, simply the continuous background of the night. You did not wake. You have not woken. You are here, in the compartment, in the warmth, under the blanket. You're breathing slow and your body still, and the train going, and the dark outside, and the lamp very low, and everything simply continuing in the warm, enclosed, entirely sufficient world of this sleeping compartment, on this moving train on this European night. The brass fittings catch the lamp light in their small warm gleams. The mahogany panels are dark and warm. The carpet under the bed is thick and dark. The fold-down shelf holds the lamp and the book you were reading, and a glass of water you poured earlier and have not finished. The water in the glass moves very slightly when the train takes a curve, a tiny, barely visible disturbance of the surface, a small ripple, and then flat again as the track straightens. Everything in the compartment is exactly as it has been for hours. Everything is in its place. Nothing has changed. Nothing will change. The compartment will be exactly this way when you wake in the morning, and the train will still be going, and the sound will still be there, and the only difference will be that the lamp will be out, and the daylight will be coming through the gap in the blind instead of the darkness, and that is the morning, which is far away, which is not here yet, which does not need to be thought about. There's only now. The train, the dark, the warmth, the sound, the rocking, the blanket, the pillow, your breathing, in and out, in and out, the wheels on the rails, click, 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 the carriage rocking, the lamp very low, the window dark, everything the same, everything the same, everything the same. You are deep in the night now, deeper than you have been, deeper than you remember being. The layers of wakefulness have peeled away, one by one, through the hours of the train journey, and what is left is simply this, the warmth and the sound and the rocking and the breath, and underneath those, the stillness that they all rest on, the deep, complete, entirely peaceful stillness that is the foundation of rest, that has always been there, that the train and the night and the compartment have simply made it easier to find. You have found it. You are in it. It is warm here. It is dark here. It is quiet here, in the way that the sound of the train is quiet. Not the absence of sound, but the presence of the one sound that is simple enough and continuous enough and regular enough to be a kind of silence, a kind of peace within sound, a kind of rest within the movement. The Orient Express moves through the European night. It has been moving for many hours. It will move for many more. The track stretches ahead of the headlamp into the dark. The track falls away behind into the dark. The carriages follow one another through the dark. Each compartment warm and dim and closed. Each passenger still. The wheels on the rails. Click, 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 click. The rocking. The warmth. Your breathing. In and out. So slow. So slow. The train is going. You are still. The night is here. The warmth is here. The sound is here. Everything is here. Nothing else. Nothing else at all. Simply the train. Simply the night. Simply the warmth. Simply the breathing. In and out. In and out. Sleep. Simply sleep. The train will carry you. The night will hold you. The compartment will keep you warm. The wheels will click their steady rhythm through all the hours that remain. And in the morning, when the light comes through the blind and the train slows toward the city and the day begins, you will have been carried here, through all of this night, in warmth and in comfort and in the deep, continuous, entirely reliable care of the Orient Express, which has been making this journey for many years and knows very well how to carry its passengers through the night to wherever they are going. But that is morning, and morning is far away, and the night is here, and the train is going, and you are warm, and you are still, and everything is well. Everything is very well. Sleep, the night, the train, the sound, in and out, click, 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 the warmth, the blanket, the pillow, in and out, the dark window, the low lamp, the rocking, in and out, the Orient Express, moving through the European night, in the 1930s, simply going, simply moving, simply the train on the track in the dark, and you in your compartment, in your bed, under your blanket, breathing, in and out, in and out, so slow, so easy, so completely without effort. The wheels click, the carriage rocks, the lamp glows, the dark passes, in and out, in and out. Everything is well, everything is warm, everything is held, everything is going where it is going, and you are here, and the night is long, and it is holding you. Sleep, simply sleep. The train will not stop. The sound will not stop. The warmth will not stop. And the night is very, very long. And everything is well. And everything is warm. And you are here, sleeping, simply sleeping, on the Orient Express, in the night, in the warmth, in the sound, in the gentle, continuous, entirely reliable rocking of the train going where it is going through the dark. Everything well. Everything well. Everything very, very well.